Thank you, Catherine. Catherine Archer, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Ken Wilcox, and we're sort of an unusual spiritual community because we have no dogma. We don't tell you what you have to believe. We encourage you to come to a God of your understanding, one that can empower you to live your best life possible. And to make that happen, you only have to do one simple thing each Sunday morning, and that's to leave all your troubles, you would have, could have, should have, to leave that stuff outside, and for the next 45 minutes or so, to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities. What are spirit possibilities? Well, for more love, more joy, more happiness, more laughter, more great music, less humidity, more sunshine, all those things in life that make us feel alive. Because that's what Spirit is doing through you and through me, showing up, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, again, I've got lots of announcements, so settle in and be patient for a little while. We have our Mystic Fair coming up. That's going to be on October 5th, and we need some volunteers. And the reason we want to help support this program is because it makes this a good money raiser for us, fundraiser for us. And if we can bring funds in from another area, we don't have to badger y'all for money. Because that's, yeah, I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to be like Flip Wilson. Y'all remember Flip Wilson? Who remember? Flip Wilson, he used to have a skit where he was a minister. And so the minister gets in front of the congregation, and the minister, Flip Wilson, says, now, congregation, he says, when I got here, this congregation was just barely crawling. Congregation would holler, crawl, minister, crawl. And he says, pretty soon we got up when we were walking. Congregation said, walk, minister, walk. And he says, but now we're going to start running. Congregation started, run, minister, run. He said, before we have to do that, he says, we're going to have money. Congregation hollered, crawl, minister, crawl. We don't want to get that way. So, two things you can help me out with the Mystic Fair. There are flyers outside. If you will grab some and post them anywhere you can, anything place that has a bulletin board, that will help us out. We also have a welcome table at the event, and that's for people to sit, give them information about our community, and answer any questions. So if you would like to do either of those things, well, if you want to post the flyers, just grab them. If you'd like to help us with the welcome table, if you can, come see me, and we'll get you signed up for that. Let's see, we have a game night coming up. That's going to be on October 16th. That's free. It's a lot of fun. We have free pizza, so you'll want to do that. I have a class that's starting on the Tuesday of this week. It's the Journey of the Soul. That's going to be at 6:30, and that's for a love offering. We have the notes for the class outside as well as the book. You can grab them both and just contribute when you come to class. It's $20 for the book. The notes are free. So that's going to be this Tuesday at 6:30, Journey of the Soul. On September 29th, we have Jonathan Van Valen coming. He's going to do an after-service workshop, a path to healing. He's a very well-recognized national healer. You'll want to make sure you join him. He's a really big deal nationally, so come and check him out. Bridget is still doing her chair yoga. I've been doing that. That's a lot of fun. That's on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, $20 per class. The League of Women Voters will be doing a nonpartisan, they don't take sides, explanation of the amendments we have coming up for the election. That's going to be on September 24th at 6:30. And finally, we have a shamanic healing, and Al and Jay are going to come up and tell us a little bit about it. Come on up, guys. Come on. Tell us when it's going to be.
So it's next Saturday, or next Sunday.
Sunday, there you go.
And so we're going to be doing it after service, I think 11:30. So just to give a little background, okay? Sorry, you hear me better now? Okay. So imagine a Catholic priest went to Africa and learned a whole new way of understanding trauma within ourselves at a transgenerational level. And he discovered a new way of connecting with the traumas that repeat in our lives. And he developed something called family constellations. And this is a very powerful technique, very well known in Europe and Latin America, and it's starting to grow in the United States. It's actually becoming so important that there's actually a whole Netflix series called Another Self that deals with this, and Gwyneth Paltrow's also talked about it in one of her series on Netflix called Sex, Love, and Goop. So this is a really powerful technique. We do it in a group. It's a group dynamic, and we're going to be doing an introduction about this next Sunday. And I'm going to hand this to you.
And I want to share with you this beautiful technique. I have been working with them for more than 20 years in Europe and Latin America. My background is as a psychology. I am very sure that is one of the most powerful techniques I have been working for a long, long time. Powerful because they go to the real root of our traumas. Welcome everyone to share with us. If you want to share with your friends, your colleagues, your husband, whatever, welcome next Sunday to join with us.
Great, guys. That'll be wonderful. So that'll be next Sunday at 11:30. So we've got lots of great things going here. So just do what calls to you, and it's a wonderful thing. Catherine, come up and play some great music for us.
Well, I'm inspired by what you said as far as not having any more rain and humidity. I would like to see that too. I've been away for like a couple of months and come home and I'm all ready to ride my bike in the rain. Right? Here we go. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that have me blind. It's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. Oh, a bright sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The rain has gone. All of those dark feelings and clouds have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but new skies. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way as they disappear. Gone is the rainbow, and here is the rainbow. Yeah. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Yeah, wonderful.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Catherine. And now we've got the lovely Brenda Sasensis coming up to do a treatment for us. Come on up, Brenda.
Well, I just got back from 10 days of bright, sunshiny days from Arizona and New Mexico. And you have to be careful what you wish for when you say no humidity, because my nasal passages dried out. That wasn't a good thing. It was 114 degrees in Phoenix, which was hot, very hot. So someone just asked me, well, it wasn't as bad as here with the humidity. I said, hot is hot. Hot's hot. That's it. Anyway, it's good to be back no matter what the weather. We can all be happy right where we are, right as we are. So my opening treatment this morning has to do with blooming at an odd time. The title of this poem is Autumn Lilac by Devin R. Jones. A lilac bloomed one autumn day, mid gold and russet glow. How strange of it to bloom that way, a springtime blossom show. Oh, lilac, inappropriate, it's not a vernal time. The blossom you regenerate lacks reason and lacks rhyme. But in the lilac's fragrant flower, a revelation told. Renewal knows no date or hour, no season to unfold. I am the bud, my faith, the flume as co-creating kin. Revealed in autumn's lilac bloom, renewal dwells within. I love these poems. I wish I could write poetry. I wish I could write any poetry, let alone that good. Well, as we go into the prayer, let us know, as I know, there is one universal divine energy. It is the substance of everything. It made me from itself. I am integrated with it. There is no part of me that it is not. And knowing that, I know that I can bloom and express anytime I want, anywhere I want, whatever it is I want to express, because spirit is at the root of all of it when I am open and accepting to that universal divine energy. That's a very powerful thing for me to know. And so I give gratitude for this knowing that I can be courageous whenever I want. I can be lazy whenever I want. I can do anything, anytime, anywhere I want. Whether it seems like it's in the season or out of the season, there is no right time or right place to express myself as spirit. And with this knowing, I give great gratitude, not only for this knowing, but also for Reverend Ken, this center, the music, the volunteers, the guys at the soundboard, the Reiki practitioners, everyone who contributes in their own way to making this center such a wonderful, prosperous, loving, compassionate place. And I release this prayer into the mind of God, knowing that it has already manifested. It's already there to reveal itself, no matter what the season. And so it is.
Thank you, Brenda. So my talk title this morning is Spirit as Source. Dr. Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he says the key to understanding life lies in realizing that life itself is pure spirit, pure potential. He said we find ourselves in an ocean of unmanifest energy, whose very nature is to take form and then to pull back from that form it has taken. The one thing that Spirit is forever doing is making all things new. And so we need to give it new ideas of what we want to create in life. It creates out of a movement of thought, and it creates through consciousness. In Scripture, it says, the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Water always represents consciousness, and Spirit expressed itself into existence through the power of its word. The word is thought plus intention. You think and then you speak your word. Some people think, some people speak without thinking. They largely become politicians if they stick to that. That was an editorial comment from our management. We'll get back to the regularly scheduled program at this time. Dr. Holmes says, he said, the word is the mold. It's the mold. It shapes the uninformed substance of spirit. Creation is the natural result of spirit thinking and speaking itself into being. And this process is mirrored within us. We get an idea, we put intention into it, we think about it, we put energy into it, and then life responds in some form. It has to. Now, it doesn't respond exactly as we had in mind, but it will respond and show up. Someone gave me a quote last week. I really liked it. What I accentuate accentuates. What I think about, look upon, that unfolds. It grows. It thrives. And the example, of course, is with Christ and the fishes and loaves of bread. What's the story? Christ was out preaching to the multitudes. He had a large group of people. He had nothing to feed them. They were hungry. He told his disciples, let's pull together our resources of what we have. He gathered all his resources, and he had loaves of bread and fishes, and he expressed gratitude for them. And this is very important for us to be grateful for what we have. Oftentimes, we discount what we have, wanting something better. But if you're grateful for what you have, you will speed better to you. If you stay focused on what you don't like, you're binding that to you. There was a song in the 70s. It went something like, if you don't have the one you want, love the one you're with. That really is kind of true. You want to love what you have, better will come. If you spend your time complaining about what you have, then more will come for you to complain about. It's all about having a better idea for ourselves. One of the videos that I really enjoyed, I posted in the e-blessing. It was about a police officer. He caught a speeding car. He goes up to the window, and there's a young woman there, and when he gets to the window, she just dissolves in tears. And she says, I know I was speeding. She says, but I don't have any money to pay for a ticket. I'm in a dead-end job. I'm not going anywhere. I don't have any money to take care for myself. And so he says, now, wait a minute. Let's think about this thing. He gave her the first bit of great advice: slow down. Slow down. Often we can put ourselves on a hamster wheel of worry. And where are you going? You're going nowhere. You're just wearing yourself out. And you're wearing yourself out, and you can't even see any possibilities. And that's what she had done. And he asked her, he says, well, what are you interested in? She says, well, I've thought about a job in the medical industry. He said, well, you can go to, there are training programs you can go to. And he says, within just, a little over a year, you can be trained to be an X-ray technician or something else working in the medical industry. And he says, I'm going to give you this ticket. It's not going to be one that you have to pay for. But he wrote on it, he said, slow down and explore possibilities. Well, that's what she did. She went and she became a surgical technician, the person in the operating room. When she graduated, she called him up to come to the graduation. And he later told the reporter, he said, of everything I've done, this has been the most important. This has been the most valuable. Scripture tells us that we're made in the image and likeness of God. Now, it's not talking about physically. It's talking about our process of creation, how we choose to think. We have the same power to shape reality through our thoughts, our words, belief, and actions. Now, how did Spirit create in Scripture? It says Spirit needed light. God said, let there be light. It didn't say, I command that there is light. It didn't say I can't go on unless there is light. It said, let there be. I cannot tell you, I have 3 older sisters. 2 of them are now in spirit. And I cannot tell you the number of calls I have gotten in the middle of the night where they would tell me, Charlie hasn't come home, and I can't go on living without Charlie. And, after a while, what happens? Charlie doesn't come back, and they go on, and they find that they can do actually quite well without Charlie. And actually, when they start doing well without Charlie, what happens? Charlie shows up. Charlie shows up. I always tell them, be like you remember the tuna commercial? Sorry, Charlie. We're on to something better now. Yeah. If you sit there at the phone waiting for Charlie to call, he's not calling. It's when you get out and move on with your life. That's when Charlie will come back if you want it. And Scripture says, Spirit said, let there be. I'm good where I'm at, but if better comes along, I'll even be happier. It's a tricky spot of creation. It really is. We manifest with desire, not in desperation. And it's from a place of being grateful where we are, but knowing better can come along. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. He was talking about an essential truth, that our approach to life must come from within, and that our outer experiences reflect our inner world. When we turn within, we discover the perfection that already exists within us, and this will allow us to manifest a life of our dreams when we realize this perfection. Christ said, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Creator is perfect in heaven. He was reminding us of this principle of perfection at the center of our life. This divine principle is the core of who we are. It's unchanging and it is eternal. And regardless of our outer circumstances, it is still within. You can disregard it, you can denigrate it, but you cannot extinguish it. It forever burns. Charles Fillmore, he was the co-founder of Unity. He said, we are not seeking perfection, we are awakening to the perfection already within us. Awakening to the perfection. And life has given us powerful creative abilities where we can individualize expressions of the divine. This is who you are. You are an individualized expression of the divine, even with all your little quirks and nooks and crannies of your soul. In fact, it's the nooks and crannies and imperfections of your soul that is allowing the divine light to shine through. We don't need to become saintly. We don't need to become perfect. It's through our imperfections that the Spirit of God can shine forth and illuminate and raise the vibration of everything. Our thoughts and beliefs and words shape our reality. But here's a word of caution. Negative thoughts, from my opinion, from my standpoint, negative thoughts have a tendency to shape our reality quicker than positive ones. And why is that? Because we have so much faith in the negative. We believe in it. We run around talking to everyone about it. And the world agrees with us. The world's happy for us to have a negative belief. Ask someone what's going wrong in their life, and they'll love you. Get a slice of pie and a cup of coffee, because they'll tell you the whole sad story. Mama took me out of tap dancing when I was 6 years old. If she'd left me in there, I'd be tap dancing on Broadway right today. Yeah. You ask them, well, what's good in your life? What do you want in your life? They'll mumble something about winning the lottery. That's about the best they can come up with. Money alone doesn't make us happy. There are plenty of miserable rich people. It's the quality of our thoughts that dictates the quality of our lives. How you're thinking. I was thinking this week about Prince Harry and Prince William. 2 boys lost a loving and caring mom way too early on. and they just had each other to cling to. Now the world has torn them apart, and they don't even speak to each other. What did I say last week? What does it profit a man to gain the world but lose their soul? Money alone isn't the solution. It's about knowing who we are and whose we are, knowing that we can control the amount of love. You can do that. We can do that. That's one thing that cannot be denied to us. We always have the power to control how much love we have in our lives because we always can choose to be more loving. The more loving you are, the more love returns to you. Dr. Holmes says the universe does not contradict itself. The law of cause and effect is exact. And our thoughts, conscious or unconscious, become the molds in which our experiences are cast. The challenges we face are often born from a misunderstanding of our power. If we could only grasp that life is for us, life is for you, for your dreams, for your hopes, for your health, for your love and prosperity. It is never against you. There's no power in the universe against you. He says if we could understand this, we'll gain a tremendous sense of freedom. There's no fundamental power for evil in the universe. Shakespeare said, there is no good or evil, but thinking makes it so. Thinking makes it so. I was in the line at the pharmacy at the grocery store. I would like to say that I have a lot of concern and compassion for people, but the truth is I'm just kind of nosy. And I like to check out other people's grocery carts to see what's going on, And so I was standing in line. There was a guy in front of me, and he was about my age, and I was checking out his cart. He had a basket. He had bread and cheese in it. It's always one of my favorite meals, bread and cheese. He had a thing of flowers, a bouquet of flowers, which that's what really caught my attention. I thought, well, this is interesting, an older guy with flowers. And then he had a little cart, a little 4-pack of the little small wine, individual wines. And so I thought, well, this is interesting. He likes to enjoy life, but he's got some kind of discipline and moderation with it. So we're standing there at the pharmacy, and I hear him talking to the pharmacist, and I clue in pretty quickly that what he's getting from the pharmacy is the preparation for a colonoscopy. I love this guy. He's getting that stuff, and he's still buying flowers and a little bit of wine and cheese. This guy is living life great. He's pulling in as much joy he can, even when there's something not so pleasant in front of him. He's doing great. And that's the key to life. It's like we're going to face challenges. We've got things we've got to deal with. We can't wait for life to get perfect for us to be loving. We can't wait for life to be perfect for us to be compassionate. We can't wait for it to be perfect for us to have a good time. In spite of all of it, we have to be willing to celebrate, to bring on the flowers, open the wine if that's what you have in mind, have the cheese and bread, enjoy life where you are to the best of your ability. Researchers tell us that it's not the big things in life that make us happy or sad. Those things last for a while, but they fade away. It's the daily events, the daily situations, the daily interactions. This is what will cause us to suffer or to enjoy our lives. They say if you want to be a critic or find fault in everything, you're welcome to do it, but it will grind you down. When we are able to look about our situations and put a lid on suffering and to look for moments of joy in unexpected places, this is how we can find joy. This is how we can keep the enthusiasm to move forward. To deny evil is not to fight reality. It's simply to recognize the error of our thinking and to correct it. There's a saying, there is nothing to heal, only truth to reveal. And the truth is, you're loved beyond your greatest imaginations. You are adored. You were Spirit's answer to every problem you'll ever confront when it thought you into being. And it's never been disappointed in you. It's always been way more enthused for your possibilities, what you're going to be able to get out there in the world and do. Joel Goldsmith, he says, our work is to come into awareness that life is infinite in its good, and there's no limits that exist beyond our thoughts, what we choose to think. And the great news is that life is for us, and no matter what challenges we face, the fundamental truth is we're supported by God. I saw an amazing video this week. I talked about him last week. I'm going to talk about him again this week because I really like this guy. He's Matt Sutzman. He was born without arms. When he was born in the hospital, his parents immediately gave him up. They didn't even take him home from the hospital. So he was adopted by a very loving farm family. The dad said, we told him, they said, we'll do everything we can to help you adjust, but we won't change anything. You've got to learn how to adapt to the world. And he did. He uses his feet to do everything. He can change a tire with his feet. I can't even do it with two working arms. He can do it with his feet. The reporter, I heard the story or saw the video, the reporter went with him to a small little diner. And so he eats with his feet. Everybody in the diner were staring at him. And the reporter asked him, he says, doesn't this bother you? The people are always staring. He says, yeah. He says, it does. He says, but you can get to a point where you can turn about 90% of it off. He said, but there's a little bit that bothers you. But here's the amazing thing. Archery, when you practice archery, where you practice it, you're in a field somewhere. There's nobody there watching you, maybe one or two people. But then when you're in competition, you're in front of thousands of people, especially when you get to the Paralympics. There are thousands of people watching. For most archers, it freaks them out because they haven't had the experience of people watching them. He's had that a lifetime, and it causes him no problem. He says, I don't mind people. I can tune them out. What the world thought was a handicap was a lift up and inspiration. When we align ourselves with the truth, we unlock the flow of good in every area of our lives. When we see ourselves as co-creator with the divine, there is no barrier in life that can stop us. There is no barrier that mankind can put in front of you that you and spirit are not a solution to. You can overcome every challenge you have. Myrtle Fillmore, she was the co-creator of Unity. She said, you do not have a problem except one that is in your own mind. And you put it there so you can take it out. My teacher, we are not victims of life. We're active participants in the creation of our experience. My teacher, Kennedy Schultz, he said he would look himself in the mirror each morning and say to himself, you're the biggest problem I have. The outer world mirrors our inner beliefs and thoughts and attitudes. The kingdom of heaven is not a distant place, but a present reality we access through our own consciousness, our own thinking. There's a power we can use for good in our lives. And the key to freedom and peace and abundance lies in our realization that the power is in, ready for us to use it. The banquet has been laid out before us, but we have to step up. Mom's not going to make the plate for you and bring it to you. You got to step up and decide what you want. We are not separate from the divine and the perfection of spirit. It is within us, ready to be revealed. So the question for us is, how do we want to have it revealed? How do we want to see the love and spirit of God manifesting in our lives and the world? Do we want to see a world at peace? Do we want to see a world where the soldiers are dropping their arms and going back home? Do we want to see a world where there's no more anger and fuss and turmoil, where people are talking intelligently to one another? Do we want to see a world of sisterhood and brotherhood where we're coming together and deciding how we best can live on this little small planet and raise our children in love and hope and compassion? Do we want to look out on the world and say that even if it's a grocery basket full of flowers and cheese and prep for a colonoscopy, this is proclaiming God where I'm at, and I can use this power and I can create heaven on earth? Because that's what we can do. That's how powerful we are. And the time is now, dear ones. The moment is here. This is the lifetime. Don't hold back. Go out there and be the blessing Spirit has called you to be. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're on fire. He's on fire. All right. So I'm going to do a brand new song, To Me For You. And this is written by my dear friend from music school, who is a New Thought musician up north. Her name is Deb Chamberlain, and she plays piano. So I learned this a couple days ago, and it's a beautiful song called The Hands of Love. And it would be a great sing-along. I wish I had the words on the screen, but... When I give to you. I give to me. I give to everyone. When I pray for you. I pray for me. I pray for everyone. It's a cycle of love that begins as one. May my hands become the hands of love. When I speak for you. I speak for me. I speak for everyone. When I sing for you. I sing for me. I sing for everyone. It's the cycle of love that begins as one. May my voice become the voice of love. There is an infinite well that will never run dry. When we hold up each other, the strength that we share multiplies. And when I feel for you. I feel for me. I feel for everyone. When I love for you. I love for me. I love for everyone. It's that cycle of love that begins as one. May my heart become the cycle of love that returns as one. May my voice become the voice of love. Yes, this cycle of love begins and returns as one. May our hands become the hands of love.
That's lovely. So now comes the time we support our community, and this is a wonderful place to support because we're doing great good in the world. Now, you can support us in a couple of ways. You can support us through volunteership. We always have projects that we need done. You can support us in prayer and consciousness, and you can also support us through coin. However you choose to support us, know that we're very grateful for it and that your gift will return to you multiplied abundantly. If you will, take your intention and place it over your heart and read this affirmation of prosperity. Okay, guys, you ought to make me remember. There we go. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. Well, thank you in advance for your contributions. The ushers have stepped down. Catherine, I know you got something wonderful for us.
Oh, every honeybee fills with jealousy when they see you next to me. I don't blame them, goodness knows. My honeysuckle rose. And when you're passing by, flowers droop inside. And I know the reason why. You're much sweeter, goodness knows. My honeysuckle rose. Well, I don't buy sugar. You just have to touch my cup. You're my sugar, darling. It's sweet when you stir it up. Well, I don't buy sugar. You just have to touch my cup. You're my sugar, darling. It's sweet when you stir it up, and when I'm taking sips from your tasty lips, seems the honey fairly drips your confection. Goodness knows, my honeysuckle rose, my honeysuckle rose, my honeysuckle rose.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. Ooh, lots of money. I like that. Multiply. All right, so we thank you for your gifts. We know that it's going to do good and perfect work and return to us multiply. We know it's going to do good in the world. This place is a beacon of hope. It's a lighthouse of love and compassion, and it is needed and necessary at this time in this place, and you're doing your part to make it a possibility, a reality. So we're grateful for it. We thank you, we bless it, we release it, knowing it does its good and perfect work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, so I'm going to close the service with an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is but one God and one mind and one power. That power is perfect love. That power is divine wisdom. That power created me, and it is enraptured with the idea of me. It is enraptured with the idea that I can be the hands of love here, now, in this moment. That regardless of all the turmoil and confusion that I see around me, that I can hold on to a better idea. an idea that we're all children of God, that we all have a right to live in peace and love and harmony. We have a right to live in prosperity. We have a right to be a fountain of love and compassion where we are. So here today, I now hold on to these wonderful ideas. I let go of every small idea I've ever entertained. Those are small notions that I've played with long enough. I'm holding on to a bright and big and bold and dynamic idea that I am the avenue of spirit. I am the way God works in my life, and God and I have great works to do. We are here to make a way. We are here to proclaim a new day, a new possibility for humanity, that we can live in peace and harmony and love, that life is to be joyful and fun and abundant and prosperous, that we can enjoy our lives and have a basket of flowers and bread and cheese, and we can move through any challenge knowing that we're supported, we're loved by God, that a way has been made before us and we're on the move. So this morning, I am not down. I am not depressed. This morning, I have lifted my eyes up to a better notion about myself, and I leave this place inspired. I leave here encouraged. I leave here knowing that God is with me, going before me, making a path, and I have lifted my eyes up to the new heaven and new earth that I'm proclaiming in my heart and soul. This is my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last idea, and that is your life, your life. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken wishing you many blessings.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were, with sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Help me out here, you know it. How sweet it is to be loved by you, yeah. I close my eyes at night, wondering what would I do without you in my life. Oh, everything was just a bore. All the things that didn't seem to did them before, but you brightened up all of my days with love so sweet in so many ways. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I just want to stop and thank you, baby.